hard to say where a story begins and ends. You have to draw an arbitrary line somewhere between perception and reality, between what is spoken and what is heard, between what is written and what is edited out. I know this, you can't have an ending without a beginning, even if they are really just random pieces of the middle that tend to stand out. That line in particular. Staccato notes on the page, points on a circle. I'm Joel Ackerson. I'm a storyteller, singer-songwriter. I tour as Joel Ackerson solo, and then I have a group called The Novelists. The way the movie The Usual Suspects was told. I mean, I love the ability to find the points of the middle that stand out. I just, the way you had said that, and you do have to phrase it, but sometimes movies are easier. Memento, you know, the beginning is the end is the beginning, and that, the way it's told makes you think about everything that's happening in a different way. It's flavored. You think you know the flavor, and then the flavor has to change, of course. That's the point of the telling that way. I do that a lot in songwriting, where the song is about one thing until the last line, where it is obviously not. That last line flavors everything, and that's why that line stood out so much to me, because we are, the way we tell it has so much influence on what someone gets from it. There might be 10 people in every group of 100 that they come up to me and go, "That happened to holy cow." I thought I was the only one. So that's my response. I was writing for those. I mean, it was I wasn't consciously writing for them, but it became evident to me that just talking about something, the moments that were hardest, in trying to be as honest as possible about it, that's the only way that someone would find some catharsis in listening to my music. That's what I'm trying to happen to every time. I mean, at least now, and I wrote a whole album of breakup songs, but I wrote the next album, and I don't have a single breakup song on it, because the first ones weren't really.
Because you got to move on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. God, if I had died then and been known only as that, wow. I would say the power of it is to get people trying to, just the act of trying to communicate is, and the act of knowing that someone is trying to communicate back. Because at a certain point you realize that you're really not, they're not hearing what you're saying, and you're probably not hearing exactly what they're saying, but that the process of that happening, what happens even between me and an audience, they're not really talking back to me, but they are feeding back constantly to everything that I say. It's that process that heals people, that brings people together, that makes lifelong friends. The definition for every single one of them, they're collections of letters. That's all they are. They are absolutely arbitrary unless we agree, and it's the agreement that causes the most division, and that's what I would like to understand that before I die. And I see this with songwriters all the time. They want them to go, "What a clever line," and what I say to people is, there's no poetry in my songs, because as soon as you know that there's a rhyme scheme, as soon as you remember that we're in 4/4 time, I failed you. As soon as you remember that I was constrained by the word choice I put before it, I failed you. As soon as you find yourself guessing what I'm going to say next, I failed. And not to say that it shouldn't flow naturally, just to say that you shouldn't, if you are guessing, then I'm leading you to guess. I'm making you guess, because I have not written it in a way that is, it's not a story anymore at that point. So, my name is Joel Ackerson, and I would say first and foremost, right now I've been working on a lot of storytelling through music. I tour as just under my own name as Joel Ackerson, and you can find that online at facebook.com/Joel Ackerson Music. I hate this part, but also I have a group called The Novelists, which is more of a co-op of other songwriters, which has sort of become a study in how other writers affect the story, and I've been enjoying that immensely, playing mostly with that group. One time, I was at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, being pretty much ignored by 300 kids eating lunch. After the show was done, I was packing up and I was going, what a fail, you know. And this girl comes up to me. First thing she says, no introduction. She's the girl that was working the cafe in this lunch hall. She says to me, "Have you tried lithium?"
It's just like, so I don't think that we even control 50% of it. I don't even think it's 10.